NDTV has learned from sources that banks have offered a daily funding plan for Jet to remain afloat, and the management has sought 1,500 crore at one go to keep flying. Now, the present crisis is a deadlock over funding. Now, the bank saying on a daily basis versus Jet's management request to release 1,500 crore at one go. Jet has written to the SBI chairperson seeking clarity on emergency funding, and Jet Airline has said that they are awaiting emergency liquidity support from the lenders led by SBI. The CEO has also written to the employees, according to sources that has said that they are looking into the matter. Saurabh Gupta joining us for more on this. Saurabh, through the past several days, you've been interacting with employees of Jet, trying to get an understanding from them what exactly is the contingency measure, the emergency measure that needs to roll out. Has there been any headway at all in the past few days that we've seen? Because we keep looking at repeated statements coming in from the Jet Airways. Is any concrete action that you see coming in the few days from now?
Well, the Jet Airways management has been saying that it's going to be impossible to run the airline unless there is some money infused into the airline in one go. Now, sources are telling us that yesterday from that 1,500 crore figure, there were discussions around a 400 crore figure. But even that hasn't materialized, and Jet Airways says that it is impossible to keep the airline flying if this money that they say was pledged to them when the deal was struck for several conditions like Naresh Goyal stepping down to keep the airline afloat. Now obviously banks say that, well, we will give the money that's required on a daily, day-to-day basis, but that Jet Airways say is no way that an airline can function with that kind of funding. It needs to clear its dues mostly. It needs to pay salaries. It needs to also pay aircraft lessors and also pay airports and other outstanding fees like fuel company charges. That will ensure that the airline can then, of course, return to flying its planes. At the moment, that doesn't seem to be happening. And pilots say that any infusion of funds, emergency infusion of funds, will have to include salaries, because without including salaries, one cannot expect employees to keep working. So obviously, this is something that's a deadlock between the banks and the management now, and it's a matter of days before the airline grounds to a halt if that funding doesn't come in. That's what the management is saying.
Whatever funding that comes in, salaries have to be a part of that funding.
Secondly, there's a talk about a 400 crore figure that we're hearing that lenders and the management are in talks about. Now, you're saying that only if this figure includes salaries will the airline continue operations. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. The management has conveyed to us that whatever the figure is, whatever the amount is, that will include salary of all the employees.
By when do you expect to hear from the lenders about what stage these talks are in and whether the funding will come in by tomorrow? And if it doesn't, what next?
Well, if it doesn't come in, then the operations will be suspended. And we do not know when the management will hear from the lenders. We are all waiting for some sort of a news.
You also spoke about NCLT, approaching the NCLT.
That's right. We will explore all the options, including NCLT.
And is there anything that you would like to, because you appealed to the Prime Minister yesterday, today there have been talks. Would you like to reiterate that appeal?
Yes, we would like to once again appeal to the Honorable Prime Minister, to the Honorable Civil Aviation Minister, and to the Honorable Finance Minister. And to all the leaders of the opposition also, all the parties, to please come forward and to help Jet Airways, to help all its employees. 20,000 jobs are online, and 20,000 people will be on road if we do not get any kind of a lifeline from the banks.